Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Communications, Utilities, Housing and Tourism, Honorable Mr. Hayden Hughes, Honorable Minister of Sustainability, Innovation and the Environment, Mrs. Quincy Grams Marie, Honorable elected member and parliamentary secretary, Mr. Merrick Richardson, AYBF clients and other invited guests. I stand here proudly to open this and be the chairperson for today, and I welcome all of you here. We will first have a prayer by Mr. Pastor Kenaro Smith. Please stand.
That's fine. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we gather here today with grateful hearts, united in a shared vision of progress, innovation, and prosperity for Anguilla. We thank you for the wisdom and inspiration and opportunities that have brought us to this moment. Bless this opening ceremony and all who are present. May this event speak or spark creativity, collaboration, and bold ideas that will shape a brighter future for our community. Guide the leaders, the entrepreneurs, and the visionaries who will walk this path, and may their endeavors honor you and serve the common good. Grant us courage to dream big, wisdom to make sound decisions, and perseverance to overcome challenges. As we celebrate the launch of Innovate Anguilla, we ask for your blessings to flow abundantly upon this initiative, so it becomes a beacon of growth, opportunity, and hope for generations to come. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much. You can have a seat. Now we'll have our opening remarks by the Foundation Chairperson, Mr. Climvio Hodge.
Good afternoon, everyone, and it's a pleasure to have you all here with us today at Innovate Anguilla Business Incubator. This space has been one that was long in coming, but we're happy to finally be able to accomplish it. This is a space for the future. It is a space that we have put a lot of hard work into. It is a space that has originally been owned by an entrepreneur. It used to be a soda factory, and then it became an educational institution. And it's so beautiful what a little bit of creativity and a little insight can do with a space. It's completely different to what it used to be. This space will be able to house the businesses of a lot of the young persons who are growing today. It is something that I myself as an entrepreneur would have really appreciated some 9 years ago when I took my journey. But today it is here, and I'm sure many persons will be able to benefit from it. Equally, this space is a complex. So to my right is a dealership for electric vehicles. Also, once again, innovative and the future. And to my left is a cafe, which will benefit all the entrepreneurs who are coming here, who welcome their clients for either tea or coffee to start off their first engagement, similar to like what I would have done starting out. And I hope that you all enjoy what we have presented today. And it is my pleasure to welcome you all here once again. And all the best for us going forward for Innovate Anguilla.
I did not introduce myself. I am the chairperson, like I said. My name is Valinda Hodge, and I purposefully wore this color today because I am, too, an entrepreneur. And it is not an easy road, but you understand how to build your brand and market yourself. So one thing I wanted you to remember is that my color for my brand is pink, I wore every shade pink on every part that you can see, my fingers, my face, and everywhere else, because when we are thinking as entrepreneurs, we have so much in our head. Our space is infinite in our minds. But I am too excited for this space here today because it is something that I think all entrepreneurs in Anguilla will definitely take advantage of and appreciate, because we can afford the space in our heads, but sometimes we can't afford the space for our businesses. My business name is Volendula, and I didn't give myself that name. My clients gave me that name, and I wore it on my shirt so that you can understand what I do. I provide emotional support and continuous labor support for pregnant women. When I provide education so that they can have a smooth transition into motherhood and a new role as a parent. And like I said, I'm very proud of this here because it's right across from where I work. Now we will have a feature address by our Honorable Minister of Social Development. And if you turn to the screen, you will see it. Ms. Deanne Kintis-Rogers.
It is a distinct pleasure to welcome you to the dawn of a transformative era in Anguilla's entrepreneurial landscape, the opening of our very first youth business incubator, Innovate Anguilla. This initiative is not just a pretty structure, but an engineered launchpad for the sustainability of our young entrepreneurs. For young people aged 18 to 35, this incubator It is a distinct pleasure to welcome you to the dawn of a transformative era in Anguilla's entrepreneurial landscape, the opening of our very first youth business incubator, Innovate Anguilla. This initiative is not just a pretty structure, but an engineered launchpad for the sustainability of our young entrepreneurs. For young people aged 18 to 35, this incubator provides fertile ground for your ideas to take root, grow, and flourish into thriving commercial ventures while being protected. While Anguilla's data on youth unemployment is sparse, the global picture of youth unemployment provides a historical trend of young people being the highest demographic of unemployed persons. This incubator is our response, a bridge to span this gap, helping young people move from unemployed to self-sustaining individuals who understand the markets within which they operate. Through this program, our incubatees gain access to much needed resources, highly skilled mentors, cutting-edge workstations, and state-of-the-art facilities, including secure meeting rooms, conference spaces equipped with Promethean boards, and a vibrant lounge. More importantly, they are provided with access to mentorship for their planning, financial management, business plans, and understanding the needs of consumers, some of the most common causes of failure for new businesses. Not only are we developing our businesses, but we are also launching a new digital lab sponsored by the Tim Reynolds Foundation and Annie Villas, bolstering Anguilla's creative and technological future. This moment is one to express deep gratitude. First, to the Anguilla Youth Business Foundation for working together to make this a possibility, and also to the Tim Reynolds Foundation. Thank you for your unwavering partnership with the government of Anguilla in making this vision a reality. You have provided the scaffolding upon which we are constructing a brighter future for our young people. As we know, the gap between inspiration and realization for individuals, institutions, and governments is often filled with financial constraints. And your generous donation of US hundreds of thousands of dollars has built a bridge that brought us to this moment. Our administration is committed to weaving social, educational, and cultural benefits into the fabric of Anguilla's developmental plans. Every dollar spent in Innovate Anguilla is an investment in the capacity and potential of our youth. This investment will grow, not in isolation, but with the strengthened force of mentorship, practical resources, and the shelter of an ecosystem that prevents fledgling businesses from being swept away by adversity. The Incubator will assist the Anguilla Youth Business Foundation by fostering increased productivity, sharpening the labor force to cut through the challenges of today's economy, lower unemployment rates, reducing the shadow of social issues like crime and poverty that often loom over communities, a diversified economy, global connectivity, tapping into the boundless marketplace of the internet, providing resilience and sustainability, giving businesses the armor to withstand storms, both literal and figurative, while setting metrics to measure our impact and refine our approaches. Our hope is that this incubator is where ideas are forged into reality and where the next generation of Anguillian leaders begin their ascent. Thank you for being part of this journey. Together, we are not just shaping businesses, but sculpting the future of Anguilla.
I am a client of the Anguilla Youth Business Foundation, and I am often invited to ceremonies like this because I'm quite excited and I keep the audience engaged. And I really just love to speak, but I know that this is a momentous occasion because it is growth in what the Business Foundation offers. When I was a client, it was about 5 or 6 years ago, and I have seen continuous growth, and now we have something physical that clients can use and appreciate. We now have Mr. Romney to give us the history and overview of the Innovate Anguilla and to introduce our guest speakers.
I adopt the protocol already established. When persons hear about history, they think about long remarks. But I promise to be very brief. Today marks a momentous occasion as we unveil the doors to the Innovate Anguilla Youth Business Incubator and Business Center. This is a culmination of years of hard work, dedication, unwavering belief in the potential of our young people. Since the inception of this project in 2016, and yes, I was reminded by one of the other participants of the project that this baby took 8 years to come forth. Quite a bit of time. We have envisioned a space where innovation thrives, ideas take flight, and dreams become reality. This incubator is more than just a physical space. It is a platform for creativity and a beacon of hope for our aspiring entrepreneurs and a catalyst for economic growth. We understand that starting a business can be daunting, especially for young people. That's why we've created this nurturing environment, equipped with the resources, mentorship, training, and support systems entrepreneurs need to succeed. Here you'll find access to cutting-edge technology, business training programs, and a vibrant community of like-minded individuals. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to the countless individuals who have contributed to this journey. To our dedicated team, whose tireless efforts have brought us to this point, your passion and expertise have been invaluable. To our partners and sponsors, your generous support has made this dream a reality. And to the visionary leaders who believed in this project from the start, your guidance has been instrumental in shaping its success. And just a brief history. The team that started work on this project back in 2016 was myself, Anushka White, who's currently in the UK, Myron Bino. At that point in time, he was the country manager for Flow. I think he's now not I think. My apologies, Desron Bino. I think he's currently now the country manager in Barbados. And the only other member of the initial team that we have with us is Steve Garlick. And I'd like you to give him a round of applause and all members of the team. Steve, you can stand so they can see you. Is that young guy right there? This team traveled all the way from Anguilla, all the way to Eindhoven, Amsterdam, to visit a number of youth business incubators to get a sense as to how they were established, how they work, how they operate. And we received training on the establishment of the incubator during that visit. It was during the workshop, the training workshop for that incubator, while on that trip, that I slipped Steve a note because there were two incubator projects that we were interested in, Innovate Anguilla, and the Department of Youth and Culture at the time was doing a project of its own. And when I listened to Steve talk about what he hoped to accomplish with Innovate Anguilla Incubator, and I looked at what DYC was working at, I realized we were essentially doing the very same thing. So I slipped Steve a note and I said to him, I think we should join. And I don't think he understood what I meant at the time, so I did what irritate workshop organizers. I leaned over to him and I started to explain to him that what we are doing is essentially the same thing in a small island state. Let us come together and do one project. Steve immediately agreed, and then we had to do something that even further angered workshop facilitators. We would tell them the focus is no longer on 2 incubators, it is now on 1 incubator. And we did that literally in the middle of the training. And fortunately enough, our facilitators were very accommodating, and because they also saw the vision was pretty much similar for both projects, and we were able to merge the projects in Eindhoven, and we left Eindhoven with 1 project, and we agreed that it should be called Innovate Anguilla, but not just Innovate Anguilla, that it also become a business incubator for young persons. So I'm very grateful to Steve and the team for all the hard work that they did in putting the business plan together, which was published in 2016, 2017. Today, we are fortunate enough to have with us John Sanford. John was one of the principal trainers and our host while we were in Eindhoven. I'll ask John to stand. I'll just wave so you can see him. You'll hear from him shortly. John his roots or his heritage is in St. Martin, so he's not entirely European. He's one of us, and he has been a good friend to us over the years. He has continued with the project. Every time we called on him for advice or guidance or assistance, he was more than willing to provide that. I also want to say a hearty thank you to our sponsors, the Government of Anguilla, the Tim Reynolds Foundation and Annie Villas, the COSME program. This is going way back now. The COSME program was a European Union-funded entrepreneurship or business development program for OT territories, and they were instrumental in providing the funding that we needed for that trip to Eindhoven and the training for the development of the Innovate Anguilla Center. Caribbean Development Bank also provided the training. Youth Business Foundation also supported in that regard, and we are very happy and very pleased this year to welcome Flo again on board with the project, who is literally powering all of our internet access. So give Flo a round of applause. We're also grateful, and someone's going to come and say thanks in a minute. Please, I hope I don't do that, but I have to give the history. Other local partners who were instrumental in the development of the center, the Anguilla Development Board, Social Security Board, and the Anguilla Chamber of Commerce and Industry. So as we embark on this exciting new chapter, I urge our young entrepreneurs to seize this opportunity, embrace the challenges, learn from your mistakes, and never give up on your dreams. Together, we will create a striving entrepreneurial ecosystem that will propel Anguilla into the future, and that's the hope of this center. Let us celebrate this achievement, and we look forward to the countless innovations and successes that will emerge from the walls of Innovate Anguilla. Congratulations to all involved, and at this time, it's my honor to welcome to the podium a friend of Anguilla, a friend of youth entrepreneurship in Anguilla, and someone who, as I said earlier, has been with us from the beginning, provided the foundational training and support and encouragement, even when we were asking dumb and stupid questions and were lost in the wilderness, had the patience and the fortitude to just support and see us through the initiative. My friend of Anguilla Youth, John Sanford.
This thing on? Good afternoon. I feel like the presentation is a bit far away, and I might need it in my visual a bit more to deliver it in the right way. So, can I do something unorthodox? Yes. Okay. On the fly.
You need it like stand as well?
No, it's all right. I'll use. And as entrepreneurs in 2024, we also have to be a lot more involved in content creation. So that's why the camera is there. But good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be here. It's actually in the presentation, so I better just start. So over to your screen here. My presentation is called The Impact of Business Incubation on a Caribbean Entrepreneur's Journey in Europe and Home. So thank you for having me. Entrepreneurs are change makers, innovators, and those that are tasked to carry more weight than the average. Entrepreneurship isn't commonly taught in schools, and the path is oftentimes very lonely. Having a safe place to explore your initial ideas and receive guidance and coaching in your most fragile state is imperative to future success. My name is John Sanford. As Mr. Romney mentioned, I'm from the neighboring island, and I've been coming to Anguilla ever since a teenager, especially August Monday. Lots of fond memories there. I'm married. This is my wife. She's from Aruba, so still kept it Caribbean even though I've been in Europe. This is my family, my twins, Michael and Mary. This was at a friend's wedding in Morocco last year. And my company is located in Strijpes, Eindhoven. It's the, hi Steve, good to see you. It's the tech capital of the Netherlands and one of the tech capitals of Europe. This is my team. About 5 months ago, I did a presentation where we were about 5, and things have been quickly expanding recently. So it's a team of designers, developers, as well as video editors. We specialize in user experience and interface design, and I've done this for several clients throughout the world, but mainly in Europe. We've worked for the European Union. At that time, it was the COSME project where we met Mr. Romney and Steve, as well as others. For Rockwool, it's a global company that specializes, well, I won't get into those details. Philips, anyone familiar with Philips? Yeah? So Philips, fun fact, it's actually the birthplace of Philips is Eindhoven, so the city in which I live. The company started about 135 years ago, and it really built the core of the city. And the new giant in the city is called ASML, and ASML is actually the chip manufacturing, the machine chip manufacturer of the world. So all of our devices, the iPads, the Samsungs, the telephones, etc., have these CPU chips in them that they're powered by, and ASML creates the machines that produces those chips. So they sell to a Taiwanese semiconductor company which produces the chips for Apple, as well as many others. Honeywell, Honeywell EMEA, Brainport Eindhoven, the Technical University, etc. But that's more of now. And this is a young man in St. Martin, about 16, 17 years old, growing up in some of the, let's say, less savory neighborhoods. Anyone familiar with the less savory neighborhoods in St. Martin? Yeah? Okay, Sucker Garden, French Quarter, Belvedere. So those were the places that I grew up in, as well as growing up in Holland, but that's a different story. But at that time, I very much was into music. And I wanted to pursue a career in music, and the young entrepreneur in me decided I'm going to create my own record company and figure this out. So these are some of the albums and mixtapes we released. Performances done in Europe and also in other places. Some of you might recognize the guy on the right. He's probably a couple pounds heavier, me as well, and, and he has a very big beard now. But that led to this particular moment. Do we have any sound? Sound guy? Let me see if I can repeat that.
Wednesday competition go down right here.
We are going international with it, baby, all right? We invited some unsigned artists from different countries and islands. Our first performer is here right now. What's your name and what country you represent?
My name is Nemesis, residing in Holland and representing St. Martin, the Caribbean islands, baby!
Love it! So you live in Holland, but you're from St. Martin.
Yeah.
And you have a beautiful accent. Don't y'all love the way he talks, ladies? All right. So we have the pleasure of hearing you speak on your song right now. So what are you going to be singing for us?
The name of the song is called Break Your Back.
So I'm about to turn 40. This was a 23-year-old me, for context.
Everybody that like to get busy on the dance floor.
Busy. And in St. Martin, they get busy on it.
We get busy.
I know how y'all do over there at Club Bliss, all right? So right now, we're going to show some love to Nemesis representing St. Martin, baby. Do your thing.
All right. So as terms of entrepreneurship, this might have been my first venture that I was pursuing also during my college career. And I invested way more into the music business than I ever made from it. And there came one of the first lessons for me. That was a lesson in focus. Because as I was pursuing my studies, I would lose focus on my studies as I focused on music. And then as I focused on my studies, then I lose momentum in what I was building up with music. So there's where I learned you can't juggle two major things simultaneously, and you have to make a choice, and focus is absolutely necessary. I went on to graduate, and upon graduation, I decided, well, I never quite made any money with that music thing. Let me perhaps put it on pause for a little bit, and then pursue this entrepreneurship thing. And it was more the fact that I studied ICT media design, which is a combination of graphic design and web development. And at that time, user experience wasn't really a thing. So I went on to start my little company called Antonio Media. But overall, that experience in music was pretty amazing. And in 2010, the young entrepreneur signed up at the Chamber of Commerce and began business. So this is my first office setup, which was about a year later when I got first introduced to a co-creation environment. So similar to what we have now here, you would have to bring your laptop and all your accessories, et cetera, and at the end of the day, you pack them up and you go home. So you won't have your own dedicated office, but it was, at the time, 90 euros a month, which I thought was a lot of money. being a freshly broke student now venturing into entrepreneurship without a first job. But yeah, I look back at this with amazement and love that. And during that time, I learned quite a few lessons, such as networking. And networking can not only bring you great clients, but it can also bring you great suppliers and collaborators to make your offers to clients more unique and attractive. And I continue to grow in this space, so that's where I learned that your network is your net worth. But going back to my music side, this was a quote that I once heard from 50 Cent back in 2003, that who you know puts you on, and what you know determines how long you stay on once you get in. And this has taught me, well, we all know in the Caribbean, who you know is going to get you in the right doors. But if you're not capable and you don't know your stuff, the door is going to open and you'll be kicked right back out. So it's important to be experienced and knowledgeable about what you're pursuing, but who you know is going to actually open those doors for you. So eventually I outgrew the space and moved on to Founded by All. Founded by All is also the location in which I met Mr. Romney and others back then. And this was the business incubation environment where my business could continue to grow, where I learned, where I could easily walk over to my neighboring entrepreneur and ask them about how do you deal with taxes for employees? Because at the time I didn't have any employees, and I only heard these horrible stories of how many taxes you have to pay for employees. So having just the ability to go over and ask these questions, have conversations about it, really helped to encourage me make different steps along the way. So I also learned about collaboration between policymakers and entrepreneurs, because it was an environment that was sort of a staple environment in the city that was created as one of the very first in the city. So similar to what is happening here today in Anguilla, I believe this environment is going to attract a lot of different peoples from all walks of life. So I encourage you all to visit on a regular basis. So some more shots of lots of networking, lots of adventures. And this was a place that I experienced tremendous growth. But even though I experienced all this growth and started to become successful in business, because when I look back in 2010, my sole goal was to make enough money that would equal sort of an average salary. And in 2010, for the whole year, I made enough money that would equal an average monthly salary. But then a few years later, that obviously changed and things went a lot better. But even though I was achieving success in Europe, etc., I wanted to reconnect with my roots and bring some of that energy back to the Caribbean. So I started to express that to whoever I could express it to. And eventually there came a moment of an email that was sent over to the Founded by All chairman, asking if they would do a presentation for a delegation coming from the Caribbean. And he forwarded me the mail and asked me if I would like to join him in doing it. And my response was, hell yes. And that led to this amazing journey together with Cosme, traveling throughout the Caribbean, training persons within government, entrepreneurs, as well as educators on what business incubation can do for their environments. And we trained them in the Netherlands and showed them around to multiple examples there and gave sort of the history of how things evolved. And simultaneously, we visited everyone back in the Caribbean to help give more guidance and support where possible. Sometimes even helping to, what's the word, convince stakeholders of why a business incubation environment is so important for the economy of the island. So we traveled to over 10 islands and did this throughout. This is in the Cayman Islands, in Aruba. Aruba later brought us for economic event, also presenting this concept. And eventually Aruba also went on to create their business incubator environment. So the lesson at this time for me was I couldn't believe that this was actually happening, because the guy that sat at that first desk immediately thought, wow, this is amazing. This is a different route than what our elders usually teach us back home. And I need to tell my people that this exists, and this is also an option. And then a few years later, I was actually traveling the Caribbean telling my people that this exists and it's an option. And today, it exists. So lesson, speak it into life. And obviously, I couldn't forget the moment that we had here in Anguilla. So this is us at, which radio station is that? Okay, you guys all recognize it. So this was back in early 2018, I believe, and we had the training in Europe a few months before that. So my experience in that time is that your dreams can become reality, and the lesson is to speak it into life. So a couple noteworthy moments throughout my career. This is me next to the Prime Minister of the Netherlands, representing the creative industries in Eindhoven. At the pitch that they were doing at the time for the then Dutch government for funds to continue developing the city. So yeah, representing Eindhoven creatives in The Hague. This is my first moment in about 10 years ago doing business at ASML, which has become one of my biggest clients to date. And in 2016, I'm also part of the World Trade Center Eindhoven Business Network. And in 2016, I was named the Young Professional of the Year. Thank you. But as you know, and I know, and we all know, 2017 September is a memorable, not so memorable time. And I was a kid when Lewis happened in 95, and we moved back to the island in 96. So it was the second time that a hurricane devastated my birth island, and I wasn't there for it. And somehow I felt a survivor's guilt, while simultaneously realizing that I'm a grown man now, not a kid, so I can actually do something about this. And we started a foundation in the Netherlands called Rebuild SXM. We went on to raise over 71,000 euros in monetary funds, but with the goods that were donated to us, it probably etched out somewhere above 125. And we went on to do several projects on the island, so donations made to 9 play schools. We had a collaboration with the foundation that oversees these play schools, and we inquired about what they would actually need. So we purchased those goods in the Netherlands and filled up a container and went down to St. Martin, and it was Christmas in March. So we also donated to 6 primary schools and 3 high schools. One of the main things that we donated to the schools were sporting goods and sporting supplies. So what I also remember from 96 is that all of the basketball courts, et cetera, were destroyed. And most of us, instead of being active in extracurricular activities, were active in things that young guys shouldn't be active in. So this was one of the things that we wanted to make sure that the kids could still have that sort of regular sporting activities and have those supplies there, because back then many of them were gone. And then later that year, we also collaborated with a different foundation that was overseeing the different primary schools, and they dived into the kids that were most in need. So they reached out to the parents and then got a list of kids that were most in need, and we donated over 2,000 uniform pieces, so 3 shirts and 2 pants or skirts. And this was eventually a collaboration with the SMDF and the Windward Island Bank. When we were pursuing this project a few months earlier, it was already an idea that we had for some time, but it became even more apparent that it was needed because I saw several kids that had growth spurts and their shirts were basically hair. So you know that something as simple as a uniform shirt could be too expensive for some parents to be able to afford. So, and the beauty in this is that this was sort of an example project of what can be done. And this is something that some foundations on the island continue to do. Not yearly, but maybe bi-yearly now. And through all of these activities, at some point, someone dropped my name in the right places, and I got invited to be part of the 300 change makers within small communities in Europe to meet ex-President Barack Obama. So this was a pretty epic moment, and also the time when I got the email from the Obama Foundation, I thought this can't be real. This is spam. Dear John, you're invited to go to Berlin and meet Barack Obama. So one thing that I always like to tell people is there is your comfort zone. It's big and nice and comfy, but venture outside of it because that's where epic happens. I know there's a pastor here, so I refuse to curse. That's it? Oh, yeah. Then this here. People, welcome. No, I can't. People. Welcome to the Sunside Kingdom Show, the place where we highlight people with roots or links to the sunny side of the Dutch Kingdom. We share many things that are the same and plenty that are very different. So come and join me in highlighting our Dutch Caribbean role models. I'll be your host, John Sandyford, aka Jam Sandyford. See you soon on the sunny side of the kingdom.
Patuloy ko to walk a show with Key. I will te sakita a show.
I loved it. This is amazing.
So in pursuing purpose and reconnecting with the roots from afar, I started a podcast called Sunside Kingdom. So I'm not sure if has anyone ever lived in Europe? 1, 2, a few. Well, in the Netherlands we face how should I put it? Sorry. Oh, okay. Well. Sometimes we're faced with certain challenges, let's say, because we come from where we come from. And overcoming those challenges, it's been an interesting journey. And oftentimes when people from the islands are in the news or on television, then it's usually the depiction of, let's say, the more ignorance among us. And I also want to bring a change to that. So I want to tell the stories and set the examples of those of us that have achieved the amazing things and have transform their mindset to go beyond what we thought was possible. And that is what the podcast is mainly about. So the QR code, you can scan it. I also have some cards that I can give out if you're interested in checking it out. I would highly appreciate it. So in closing, let me find my closing remarks. It doesn't want to. So during my years in these business incubation environments, I always dreamed of having similar facilities in the Caribbean home, so that my Caribbean folks can know that there are alternative paths than the traditional ones our elders preach to us. A path with more freedom of choice, a path that you believe you have the power to pivot and shift as you see fit, a path that you are the captain of your own ship. But in the words of Uncle Ben, who's Uncle Ben? What was that? Not the rice guy. Let's see if we got any particular fans in here. With great power comes great responsibility. All right, that's Spider-Man. The path is more difficult than the average path and will require more sacrifices from you in the short term before you can reap the rewards in the long term. But those that put their heads down and focus on their core and study their industry, do their research, and craft a unique offer for the market always wins. This path is not for everyone, but it might be, just might be, the path for you. Thank you very much.
I think it was very refreshing to know that he's our neighbor, and to even for me as an entrepreneur, it makes it reality that we can thrive and become persons that met President Barack Obama. And I just wanted to look up the word incubator. It says enclosed environment ideal for growth and reproduction. And even listening to Mr. Stanford, he sounded like, I think you understood that he came from humble beginnings with Nemesis, that's what's your name? And now he's a well-respected young man. You're not 40 as yet, so you're still young, right? And he can't. Oh, I'm sorry. And I honestly feel a little more inspired to know that not only did he leave the Caribbean, but he remembered where his roots were, and he found ways to give back and to provide incubation for other entrepreneurs. So I wrote this down, that even as we open the incubator, I hope that us as entrepreneurs, even if we outgrow it, that we don't outgrow it too much, that we can remember those that started out just like us. It takes a lot of tenacity, and I think he also said we wear a lot of hats. We are the financial managers, the owners, the design, marketing, content creators. We are our own lawyers because we cannot afford all of the legal work all the time. But at least now we have a space where we can take that part and scratch it out of our budget and probably find ways to give back. So thank you very much. Remember that we also have St. Martin roots also, so if you're looking to give any more uniforms out, I have a few places that you can provide that. We will now have a steel pan entertainment by none other than Mr. Martin, and then we will have a few remarks from our sponsors. Now we'll have a few remarks by our sponsors, and I will just call them in order so that they know who is next. I think we have 2 videos first, and then we'll have CDB, Senior Operations Officer, Michael Thomas, and our Floor General Manager, Miss Jade Raymond.
Being part of this milestone really brings back fond memories to me. Good evening. Being part of this milestone really brings back fond memories. Fond memories to me. It brings me back to the time of when we had the COSME program. And the COSME program, it really stands for Caribbean OCTs, which is Caribbean Overseas Countries and Territories. The program was made up of 12 of these OCTs, of which Anguilla, one of the most smallest ones, but very dynamic island, was part of this program and participated to its fullest. We had a local PMU consisting of Bren, Heather, Mr. Pickering, as well as Sherma. And the composition of that team made sure that the program could bring out the best and strengthen the SMEs for the island. One of the local partners, of course, was the Anguilla Youth Foundation. So, tonight, I am honored to have been contacted by Renika so that I could be here to extend my congratulations, my warmest and sincerest congratulations to the Anguilla Youth Foundation with the launch of their Innovate Anguilla Incubator. I thank you for giving me this pleasure of being part of it as one of their newest projects. Since the completion of the COSME program, I congratulate them once again.
Honorable Deanne Kentish-Rogers, Minister of Education and Social Development, Acting Minister of Youth Affairs, featured speaker, Mr. John Sandiford, other distinguished guests and partners, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is my pleasure to join you today for the opening of the Innovate Anguilla Business Incubator, a significant initiative aimed at engendering micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises in Anguilla. I'm delighted that the Caribbean Development Bank's support to the Anguilla Youth Business Foundation has contributed to the realization of today's significant milestone. CDB recognizes that harnessing entrepreneurial talents among young people to ease constraints of the labor market is vital for employment generation and inclusive growth. This is in keeping with one of the bank's commitment to building production resilience and promoting private sector operations and MSME growth. As such, the bank, through its MSME development program, the Caribbean Technological Consultancy Services, committed $24,000 in 2022 for technical assistance intervention to strengthen the institutional capacity of the Anguilla Youth Business Foundation. This technical assistance, delivered in collaboration with the Barbados Youth Business Trust, consisted of the development of a training curriculum, inclusive of a Train the Trainer workshop, which equipped 15 trainers and mentors to train and mentor young people pursuing entrepreneurial ventures in Anguilla. CDB's support, therefore, has enabled Anguilla Youth Business Foundation to strengthen its youth entrepreneurial program to bring it in line with similar programs being implemented in the region. Ladies and gentlemen, it's tough for anyone to start out as an entrepreneur, build a new business from the ground up. However, we recognize that young business persons face unique challenges which require greater support and guidance to overcome. Our youth entrepreneurs must navigate an environment with 1. Limited or no credit history, which makes accessing finance difficult if not impossible. 2. Small or non-existent business networks. And 3, but by no means least, limited management capacity, which includes hiring employees for the first time, developing business strategies, marketing, sales, and accounting, all of which contribute through the increasing stress and self-doubt as startups. I take this opportunity to commend Anguilla Youth Business Foundation for establishing this business incubator, which is expected to provide support to beneficiary young persons in addressing these and other challenges encountered by Anguilla's young entrepreneurial minds. Our commendation is also extended to the Barbados Youth Business Trust and other partners that have contributed to this initiative. In closing, I urge the beneficiaries of the business incubator to fully capitalize on the tutoring, guidance, and support to be provided, as this will contribute to the successful development and establishment of your various business ventures. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Adopting the protocols already established. I didn't come fully prepared because now that I realize that I could have run a video myself playing guitar for you guys to watch it. So you'll just have to listen to me talk instead. I'm super excited to be here today. I've been working actually for probably 3 years now with Bren and his team on the center. Steve, actually part of the first meetings that I had with them. And it's amazing to see it come to life. Tim Reynolds, who you may know, owns Ani, which we now call Ani Private Resorts around the world, but here, everybody, we're definitely Ani Villas. He has a special place in his heart for Anguilla and for education, and in addition to funding the art school, which he's been running for a number of years, a couple of years ago came to me and said, look, I want to start getting involved more in education around the world and in Anguilla, and kind of tasked me with figuring out how money could be put to the best use and make the biggest difference, and was talking to the Department of Education about where the biggest needs were. And he got involved in a few projects. You may know he helped fund the building of the new school block in Island Harbor School. We're also involved in the launch of the Inspire project at WISE program, which they're going to be having a launch soon. But this one had kind of a special place in my heart that I talked to Tim about getting involved in adult computer education with a desire to see more jobs and skills develop outside of the tourism industry, even though that's what I'm involved with as a business. But for the island, I think it's awesome to see people branching out and getting into entrepreneurship, and especially in the tech world. And we had the idea to build an adult learning center for digital technologies. And when I was talking to Brent about it, he kind of said, look, explained to me the Innovate Anguilla Center, and realized it was the perfect marriage to be putting in this digital learning center here within Innovate Anguilla. So it's super exciting to see it open up. And in addition to all the programs that Innovate Anguilla offer, which is amazing for young entrepreneurs in the island, we're working on building a program to bring different classes and courses in coding, in AI, other digital medias, and with an idea of also bringing in digital nomads, which I know was part of the whole program that Steve had come up with at the beginning, is bringing in digital nomads that will be living and working here and then sharing experiences with Anguillan entrepreneurs and tech as well. So it's amazing to see the beginnings of seeing that come to life. So I think you'll be hearing more news over the coming weeks and months about the courses that are going to be offered here, and digital nomads that be coming in to help teach here. One of them's here, Zev, who's going to be a pilot kind of teacher here for the program next year. Digital nomad who's living and working in the island. So thanks a lot for including us today, and super excited to see it open. Thanks a lot.
Good afternoon. I'm a little prepared because Desron would kill me. So good afternoon. I wish to follow the protocol that has already been established. As Flow celebrates 53 years of connectivity in Anguilla and supporting our small businesses, we're extremely pleased to partner with Innovate Anguilla and the Anguilla Youth Business Foundation to showcase the rising stars in entrepreneurial community. Technology excites us, And Flow is committed to providing connectivity that fuels the fire for bringing innovative ideas and small businesses to life. Connectivity is the pathway for entrepreneurs to learn, showcase, and expand their services. It is the vessel on which e-commerce thrives. Today, in Anguilla, our entrepreneurs are the future of Anguilla. We see solutions, visionaries, future employees, new business ventures created by people who understand that every challenge is an opportunity waiting to be discovered and explored. Today, small business startups with the right support and resources from Flow can transform into a local or regional franchise, and Flow is here to support your vision for success with solutions. We know that the industries of technology and telecommunications evolve daily. Entrepreneurs, I encourage you to continue to dream big, challenge yourself, to keep innovating. See what I did there? In the words of Dave Thomas, the founder for Wendy's, know your product better than anyone. Know your customer and have a burning desire to succeed. When small businesses thrive and grow, our economy grows, our communities become stronger, and together we can continue to create a sustainable Anguilla for generations to come. We commend the government of Anguilla and DYC for supporting and spearheading this venture, and for Bren Romney for always calling me when something looks like ours. And we wish Innovate Anguilla and Anguilla Youth Business Foundation much success. Desron would be very proud. Thank you.
We are winding down. I just want to say a few things. I'm hoping that this space, Innovate Anguilla, is a little song-proof. I was looking around for the dog barking, and then I saw everyone else in the audience looking for this dog, and it made me laugh about it myself. Many times I had to create videos and content, and my children on the background, "Mommy, I'm hungry, Mommy, Taylor hit me." I'm hoping that I can come here and use this space so that we don't get those unnecessary song bites. I also looked back, this is now me as a client, look back to see that there's a lock on the door, and I'm hoping that we can negotiate for 24 hours access. I don't know how it's gonna work, but I know as an entrepreneur, I usually dream about my big business ideas, and they usually come around 2 a.m. So I'm hoping that even if I have to drive down here, that I don't have to knock on the door and it's locked, because I would love to come down here and take everything, like I said, out of my mind and put it on a board or space in this Innovate Anguilla area. We now will have one more instrumental selection by Ms. Tamika Fleming. I'm thinking this is the last time you'll see me now. So before I leave, I'll just, use this as my shameless plug one more time. You can find my services at www.caribbeandoula.com. I am volunteer to my local clients. They gave me that name, but I found that Caribbean Doula sells better. So if you want to find me or contact me, caribbeandoula.com. I will invite Winniqua Romney, the AYBF coordinator, to give basically the vote of thanks and expressions of gratitude. And before she comes up, I'd just like to say this is a place for networking. I am the only doula in Anguilla. I have found many other doulas across the region, but I am excited to network with other entrepreneurs because although I am the only doula, it's easy to bounce things and ideas off of hustlers and risk takers and entrepreneurs, and now we have this space. So thank you very much, and I will invite Ms. Romney.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Before I begin our expressions of gratitude and vote of thanks, I'd like to recognize our council members. And when I call their names, I want them to stand so everyone can see them. Clemvio Hodge is our chairperson. Please stand. Twyla Thomas, that's our deputy chair. Avon Carter, Director of DYC, who is also our accounting officer on council. Mr. Bren Romney, who is our budgeting officer, council member, and administration of the budgeting committee. Mrs. Althea Hodge, that's our Anguilla Development Board representative officer. Mrs. Maglan Lewis Webster, she is our Social Security Representative Officer. Mrs. Webster. Tiffany Moore is our Marketing Representative. Karen Pino, who's seated in the second row, she is our Anguilla Chambers of Commerce Representative. And Mrs. Charmaine Lynch Harrigan is our Financial Representative Officer. Our ex officio members are myself, the coordinator, and our recording officer. Oh, Shama is our representative in the Finance Department of the Government of Anguilla. And our ex officio members are myself, the coordinator, and the recording officer, Ms. Taniqua Ruwan. Ladies and gentlemen, as we stand before you today, we are filled with immense gratitude and pride as we reflect on the journey of the Anguilla Youth Business Foundation and Innovate Anguilla. This occasion is not just a celebration of our achievements, but also a moment to acknowledge and express our heartfelt thanks to the remarkable individuals and organizations that have contributed to our success. First and foremost, we would like to extend our deepest appreciation to our founders of the Anguilla Youth Business Foundation. Your vision, dedication, and commitment to empowering the youth of Anguilla have laid a foundation for all of our incredible work that we do today. Your belief in the potential of our young people has sparked an entrepreneurial spirit that continues to motivate and inspire generations. To our generous sponsors, the Government of Anguilla, thank you. The Tim Reynolds Foundation and Honor Villards, Cosme Program, Caribbean Development Bank, Youth Business International, and Flow. And to our partners, the Anguilla Development Board, Social Security Board, Anguilla Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Thank you for your unwavering support. Your investment in our mission has made it possible for us to provide invaluable resources, training, and opportunities for our youth. Together, we are nurturing innovative thinkers and passionate entrepreneurs who will shape the future of Anguilla. Special thanks to Mr. Brent Romney, Miss Anishka White, Mr. Byron Bino, and Mr. Steve Garlick, the team that developed the concept behind Innovate Anguilla. We would also like to recognize the past and present directors of the Department of Youth and Culture. Your leadership and guidance have been pivotal to steering our initiatives and ensuring that we remain aligned with the entrepreneurial aspirations of our young people. Thank you. Thanks to your commitment and to your empowering of youth and fostering a culture that starts, grows, and stimulates entrepreneurship. To the youth division, both past and present council members, your hard work and dedication have not gone unnoticed. You have played a vital role in implementing our programs and initiatives, ensuring that we remain responsive to the ever-changing landscape of youth entrepreneurship. Your passion and enthusiasm have been a driving force behind our success. A special shout out goes to our subcommittees, teaching facilitators, and mentors who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes. Your work has been instrumental in making the Anguilla Youth Business Foundation what it is today. Thank you for your commitment and enthusiasm also. Last, but certainly not least, to our Anguilla Youth Business Foundation clients, the young entrepreneurs who embody the spirit of Innovate Anguilla. Thank you for trusting us to be a part of your journey. Your creativity, resilience, and determination inspires us every day. It is your successes that validate our efforts and motivate us to continue our work. As we move forward, let us remember that this journey is a collective effort. Together we can build a brighter future for youth of Anguilla. And that is filled with opportunities, innovation, and innovative ideas as we continue in this changing world. Thank you to all for being here today and for your ongoing support of the Anguilla Youth Business Foundation. Let us continue to work together to inspire and empower the next generation of businesses and leaders and the powerful entrepreneurs that is to come. My vote of thanks for this evening's event was possible, and this momentous impact by entrepreneurs and colleagues that we will recognize this evening. We extend our deepest gratitude to the incredible entrepreneurs, colleagues, and persons who made this milestone moment impactful. To our landlord, Sheldon Rogers, who's standing over there. Come closer. Let's give him a round of applause. Mr. Rogers has worked tirelessly and creatively to give us the display and the outer look and inner structure that we see today and that we will see more of later. Let's give him a round of applause. Let's also thank the entrepreneurship of the Rogers factory and his family as they continue, hence why we are here in this Rogers factory today. As we continue to innovate, we think about the generations to come. So to Sheldon Rogers, our landlord, thank you for creating the unique building that we have today and providing a solid foundation for our success. To Mr. Clemvio Hodge, your artwork has created a beautiful design layout. As you can see, we have design layout, and you will see more inside. We thank Clemvio Hodge for that. So 5-star Rudy Webster, thank you for the artwork and the invitations and the program. And to Ron Sign Shop, thanks for your stunning signage that speaks innovation and welcomes all. A big thank you to Titanium Sound and Live Rock Audio and Visuals for ensuring a seamless streaming sound and visual experience. Young entrepreneurs, let's give them a round of applause. To our never-failing Zuru Wilkes, your talent always captures and cherishes our momentous experiences very beautifully. A special thanks to Pastor Kimara Smith for blessing our incubator, Valinda Hodge, for cheerfully cheering this program, and Tamika and Mr. Martin for their fantastic entertainment. It was very resonating. Shout out to Natural Vibes Decor, our young AYBF entrepreneurs, for this decor backdrop, and you will see more of it when we go in to bless the building. And we can't wait to savor our offerings from Papers Barbecue and beverage bars that are setting up at the back for us. A round of applause for our refreshments. With a heart of gratitude, we would like to see, we are thankful to see the cutting of our ribbon for our opening ceremony by two of our Anguilla Youth Business Foundation clients this evening, Talitha and Lavidano. If you are here, stand, please. Finally, thanks to the Department of Youth and Culture and the Anguilla Youth Business Foundation, council and committee teams for your teamwork, support, and dedication. Together, our teamwork made this dream work this evening. To our audience, thank you for your presence and stellar support this evening. Much success and flow for the remainder of this evening. Thank you.
We have the cutting of the ribbon with Ms. Talitha and okay. You have one more remark.
Sorry, apologies. Quick one. I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to all of you here today. And I also want you to tap yourselves on the back, because what you've achieved here today, when we first started the program, we traveled around the Caribbean in 10 islands, and we've trained those persons in all islands. And as I see everything being executed, really the vision that we set out to achieve with you guys, you have executed it meticulously. I'm really impressed with all of the collaborative efforts, with finding the right partners, really believing that this can be achieved on your island. You really made it happen. And even finding the right landlord. Remember, that was one of the key things that we said. You need a landlord that really believes in the project and is willing to innovate with you. And right next door, you have an innovative company. On that side, you can get your lunch. It's like a microcosm of what we showed you guys 7 years ago, and it exists here today in the island. So I don't know. I just had to let that out. Be proud of yourselves, Anguilla. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, John, for that. And so I'd like to welcome up Lavidano and Ms. Talitha up front, as well as Minister Gums Marie.
We'll now head to the back for refreshments, barbecue, social. Before we do that, we are walking through the building. We'll give you all a tour, and we'll also have the blessing of the rooms in the building by Pastor Kimara Smith. And then we will go at the back to have refreshments and social.
Within its walls. Lord, we ask you to bless this facility as a place where ideas are born, talents are nurtured, and dreams are realized. Let it be a hub of creativity, innovation, and collaboration. May the businesses launched here today thrive, creating opportunities that uplift lives and strengthen our island economy. Surround this space with your protection and fill it with your presence. Bless all who enter its doors with wisdom to innovate, courage to take risks, and hearts to seek to make a positive impact. May this complex be a testament to what can be achieved when faith, vision, and hard work come together. In your name, we commit this place and all its endeavors into your hands, trusting in your plan for success and prosperity. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Pastor.